You've reached the HubSpot helpline.
It's Rob, it's George, it's Casey, Kyle, and Chris. Admin, call in, then tune in. You can't miss this. Every Wednesday at 10. Streaming straight from LinkedIn. Helping with HubSpot. Building community is our philosophy, and we're so proud to be. Helping you with HubSpot. Orange, you so glad that it's time for the
What a way to get pumped up for a recurring Wednesday show with four of my favorite people in the entire Hubverse. It's the HubSpot helpline. I am Rob, aka the mayor of Inbound. I am joined by Chris Carolyn, even though it's not the holidays, Mr. George B. Thomas, the wonderful Casey Greyhound of the helpline, Hawkins, and the one, the only, the original HubSpot evangelist, Kyle Jepson. How are we doing on this Wednesday?
Doing great. Excited to be back with the crew.
Doing good. Good. Any time spent with you guys is amazing time.
I have condensed the intro, by the way, George, to the feedback I received earlier about it being almost too long and long-winded. I've condensed it a little bit. So
who would have said that?
Sorry, I'm going to drag it out a little longer now. Every Wednesday, I have this question, and I'm finally brave enough to ask it. This happened while I was out on parental leave. Why is Casey a greyhound? And what does that mean?
Oh.
We did a Admin of the Year competition challenge contest, and there were 32 initial entrants. Chris made the top 16. Anyway, we got it down to like a sweet 16. And as a way of saying thank you to just being a HubSpot BADA $.
Wow.
I made custom videos for the top 16 that were, Kyle, you had one of these, one of the original Real Admin of Genius.
Oh, yeah.
I think George B had one, but I did Real Admin of Genius, and I had to scrape socials and LinkedIn's and figure out some clever way to introduce people. Casey just became the Greyhound of the helpline because of, is it Doug or Frank?
Doug.
That's what you were between, Doug or Frank. Yeah, Kyle, I don't know if you know this, Kyle. I have two greyhounds. Frank is the older of the two greyhounds, and he is the bigger personality of the two. But in April, we got our second greyhound, Bosun, who he makes more appearances because he's a little more of a Velcro dog.
And what's the second dog's name?
Bosun.
Oh, see, Rob, you were so close. Like a B and a D. They were so close.
I confused Doug with dog, I think, because the Greyhound, but I was close. I got one of them. I mean, that's not bad. So,
no, 50-50.
Yes, that is the reason.
Thanks.
I think Mr. Profoundly Pro 4000 was
for some
Chris's.
reason mine is not stuck, and I'm somehow back to Christmas Carolyn. You then have to qualify immediately. Like as master of ceremonies, I would hope you can generate titles that don't have to be explained, like right after you say it. So maybe we could work on that. Like take some notes.
Wait, is it time for feedback already?
Geez, shots fired.
It's always time for feedback. Feedback is a gift. I know Chris's intent is to make me, the show, and everybody on it better. So duly noted, Chris. I'll do a better job of giving you a good nickname.
And I think one of my original roles was supposed to be corrections. I made top 16, I think. I think, Casey, you're top 8. Yeah.
No, I made it farther than Chris. So.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure that was clear since Rob mentioned me and Casey. Like, yeah, Casey crushed it.
I know that she made it further too because she got a custom song, by the way, which was the reward for making the top 8, which I thought it was pretty good. I did a pretty good job on those custom songs.
You always kill it,
Rob.
Rob.
Where did you announce Admin of the Year?
We announced it at the Super After Party at Inbound. Great segue, Chris.
Hey, wow.
Speaking of which, we are introducing a couple new segments, one of which is going to be about Inbound. To back up just a little bit, George said it best when he said that with an audience full of humans. We need to give not as much structure or scripting. The intent is to be authentic, organic, genuine, human, but more milestones. So if people are tuning in or choosing to spend time with us on a Wednesday, maybe they don't have an hour, but to give more recurring milestones along the show format. So one of the first ones will be weekly inbound updates. I think Road to Inbound was an initiative by the correspondents or by that team last year. You think of this as the Odyssey to Inbound because we're starting in February. I know that there are a couple updates. Casey, if you want to share your screen, the first of which, while you're with your Valentine this weekend, go ahead and team up and fill out that speaking form. They are due the 18th, and we have people on here that may give a tip or a trick. I know George has already filled out and submitted his session name. If you want to share, if you want to give a little insight to that, George, you're up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it will get. Yes, Sarah, Inbound is back in Boston, and the 3 exclamation marks are. I agree with you. Again, I don't know if it'll get accepted, but this year I have been doing a lot with content, a lot with AI, and so I submitted the other day human content at scale, the Vibe AI framework. So we will see if that comes to life in Boston this year or not.
What are you, like 10 for 10, George, or something like that?
This will be, I think, my 10th or 11th year speaking. One of the two, yes, since 2016. So somebody do the math, because math be mathin'.
So some tips for us out there who might be submitting.
Yeah. So a couple,
because I submitted my first one last year. I'm pretty sure I could do the same thing this year. It sounds like the Commerce Hub team is ready for unified revenue views. But what does it take to be accepted as an inbound speaker?
So I'll give you 2 tips that I've followed through the years. One is up until last year, because last year and this year I broke my rule. But before that, I would submit 2, if not 3 different talks and let the team be able to choose which one they actually wanted me to create for the event. So going past this idea of just one and that's it, like you can give them multiple submissions, or you historically could. The other thing is pay a lot to the title, because the title is what will kind of make or break the humans who will be in the room. And so for a lot of years, my titles would start with like 7 things, 5 things, because then on the place where it shows on the inbound website, it's numbers before letters. So think about AAA construction, but it's like 13 things that XYZ, and now all of a sudden you're one of the first people that humans see. So think about the naming convention, who you want in the room, and then potentially multiple submissions in different directions.
This year, the limit is 2, but yeah,
2.
Everybody is welcome to do 2.
Do it.
2 is the limit. The deadline, once again, is, help me out with my calendar, is a week from today, correct?
Yeah. 18th. Yeah, the 18th. 7 days.
Wow. I need to submit
looks like you've already got permission, Rob.
Yeah, shout out from the wife there. Apparently, we're spending this Saturday getting my speaker submissions on Inbound team. If you're watching this, that is dedication. If I'm not selected, it's not just me you have to deal with. It's a very angry Mrs. Jones. So,
we don't want that.
No, we don't want that at all. Maybe if that actually works and I do get to speak this year, she's going to be on every one of these moving forward.
She will get all the credit. For sure.
As a plant, you need those people in your life. Shout out to Megan. Also, I don't know how much of this that you should be thinking through, but I know hotel blocks are opening up soon. Booking is always odd. It was even more odd to me. This will be my 5th year going. The first 2 years, it was either the Omni or the Westin. And then we did not book as early, and we had to walk 25 minutes from somewhere in wherever it is. I'm not as familiar with Boston, but it was. You should go ahead and prioritize getting a spot if you know you're going to inbound. Any other thing that I've missed regarding inbound correspondence or any of that, Chris, that you've seen come through?
No, as you mentioned, this is pretty early for us to get started talking about it, and I would have to cede to Kyle if there's any other information that we should share.
I think you've shared what is known, but it does. I mean, inbound warrants planning ahead. So it's not too early to be thinking about this.
As prepped as we can be, helping the audience stay as prepped and on top of things as possible. Speaking of that, we are going to, George said that he talks way too much, and so do I, and sometimes Kyle. But we want to give this a new segment that I think we're all very excited about, which is one of two options or both. Feature of the week. So because so many things are being updated, changing in HubSpot, there are tons of things that you could focus on. Casey's going to share with us, having done this earlier in the week, and I know that you're doing other shows and content later in the week, the feature that you need to pay attention to this week, followed by a quick, do you have the quick win of the week prepared too?
I'm ready.
Oh, man.
See, look, I'm so
speaking
curious.
of preparedness, here we go. I'm going to turn it over to Casey, and we will work on the production graphic for this.
I got to be honest, as a guy who is on, one of the guys who is on the customer platform podcast that we do daily at in the morning, I'm really curious about what you're going to pull out the bag right now, Casey.
For the update of the week? Yeah. So over the last 7 days, we covered over 40 updates.
Crazy.
They spanned AI and automation, customer agent last week. Yeah, Chris, I got to build. Don't get too eager there with the screen sharing. AI and automation, customer agent got a 28-day free trial. We got Breeze property validation. Videos in HubSpot made a big push. We have video capture. That beta came out on Monday. And then there's also the HubSpot video embedding in CRM emails and help desk. George was ready to cancel all of his subscriptions and move all into HubSpot. There were also some real advancements in data quality and CRM infrastructure, email property types, and HubSpot and Salesforce now supporting company merging. Also on the CPQ and commerce front, we can capture buyer details in quotes and manually retry failed payment cards. And we have some brand support on invoice payment links and subscriptions if you're using the brands add-on. Teams and admin management got a big improvement as well with the multiple main teams, full functionality. That was a big push in the HubSpot community, and that got announced over the last week as well. And then calendars and meetings, just today, the sync of recurring meetings to HubSpot. We covered that on the show this morning. And I admitted I didn't know why my reoccurring meetings weren't syncing. I thought I had it set up wrong, but turns out I was not wrong. But the number one update of the week, in my personal opinion. Okay, Go, Chris. Breeze Assistant prompts reimagined.
Oh, yeah.
This is my top update of the week because I think you and anyone can really benefit from this specific update. If you don't know, as of yesterday, Breeze Assistant now uses at mentions on CRM object searches, saved prompt libraries, reusable templates, and placeholders. And users can organize those saved prompts with tags to help them use Breeze Assistant better. What does this look like in practice? I can type in here, has Taylor Swift attended a meeting lately?
Oh, you should have asked if Taylor Swift attended your lead scoring workshop.
This is a demo portal, so I think the answer is going to be no either way. But I'm able to actually tag, so Taylor doesn't have any recorded meetings on her timeline. We're still working on that, maybe next week.
So good. So good. I love this one. I think that I emailed, I don't even know how many clients of you've got to check this out. I do like that Sarah in the comments though, because we stumbled across one this week, Casey, and that was the HubSpot Everywhere. That's in the Sales Chrome extension. Yes. That was a fun one, but I do agree with you that hopefully people read this update and go and start to use and leverage Breeze at a more detailed and more powerful way.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm excited about with any Breeze updates. Just making Breeze more helpful. I know that it can be hard to change our workflows, and if you've tried Breeze and it hasn't worked for you, it can be hard to get yourself mentally to go back. But they keep making improvements.
Yep.
I need to ask Kyle about a specific update.
Uh-oh.
The video capture in HubSpot.
Yeah.
How happy are you to see that?
I am really happy. I think it's so for anyone who missed it, HubSpot now in a Content Hub has native recording. You can capture your screen, you can capture your camera, you can capture your mic, and it's an output very similar to if you've ever done like a Loom or a Vidyard sort of thing. It's going to be your screen recording and your camera recording small in the corner, which is just great. There's an update that is in the works that is, I believe, rolling out this week, where from help desk and from one-to-one emails on like contact records, you can insert videos from your HubSpot video library. Once those two things become even more connected, sending one-to-one videos inside of HubSpot will be like fully native, and that's really powerful. For me, in my my daily social videos, I'm not yet ready to use HubSpot just because I go from full screen camera, then cut to full screen recording, and then back to full screen camera. And the editor is not a multi-track video editor at this point, but the video editor is multi-track. You can edit audio, you can overlay images. It's a pretty sweet little recording tool, and to have it fully baked into HubSpot and get all like the analytics and things that come with that, I really think people should be very eager to try it out. Very, very low barrier to entry.
All right, HubSpot product team, you heard it here first. Kyle wants full video and full desktop.
They know.
They know. I would take that too, because what we didn't mention in that, like you can insert videos in this, and you can start here, is the middle. And that is that you have a full-blown freaking editor in HubSpot as well, like a Descript, if you will.
Yeah.
And so imagine a world where you did have, even if you don't have, what you have right now, and being able to shoot it in HubSpot, edit in HubSpot, publish it on social, or insert it into any of these places in HubSpot. It's just mind-boggling. Now, if we get to the point where during that edit, we can go full video, circle video, screen, like, wow.
Yeah. And I would like, I think the difficulty, I've used a lot of video editor. I've recorded a lot of videos. The difficulty is a balance between simplicity and power, right? Like HubSpot in this instance has gone all in on simplicity. I've quickly found that I'm not like a professional grade video editor, right? And sometimes just to do very basic things, I have to get video editing software that has all the buttons and knobs that I don't know how to use. And it's very hard and it's very heavy lift. But HubSpot is simple but powerful is like, that's our thing, right? And so I'm eager to see if this is, if we can get there. And like the way you described it, George, it could be as simple as that, right? If I could just slice the timeline and on each one, click it, and the option is full camera, full screen recording, camera overlaid on screen recording, like that would be sufficient for me, right? And that would be pretty great.
I think it'd be sufficient for 95% of sales reps that aren't even currently doing one-to-one video. And I think it'd be 99% available for anybody who's just trying to do quick off-the-cuff content, which should be everybody, by the way, because in the future, if you're not building a brand, what are you doing? Okay, I'll stop there.
And I will say, like, because I publish all my social posts through HubSpot, I am using HubSpot Video in some sense. I record using a desktop software, but then I upload it into HubSpot. Now it's in HubSpot Video. I use HubSpot Video for branded captioning, which is great. And I get all kinds of analytics on the back end. I can see how many views on LinkedIn this video got versus how many views it got on Instagram, right? And like all that is just happening automatically. And so
back up, Kyle. It's happening automagically.
All right.
That's how it's happening. Come on now.
Automatically.
You don't have Kyle yet.
I had a moment of terror there where I thought I had promised something the system didn't actually do.
No.
That's been one of the things. I don't know whether to transition into another thing that we talked about before the show, but it seems like as good of a time as any. That's been one of the things about simplicity versus complexity. And if all you're using it for is to record something quick and need, I'll say minimal or simplistic editing tools, it makes sense to just do it natively and get rid of something else that you might be spending money on per month or that's more complicated as far as weaving into the product. But my transition question was more on how has I know this is recent, but how has the overall feedback been to the video, both capture and editor product in HubSpot, Kyle?
So Capture is brand new. It just released yesterday, I think. I've not heard much feedback on it yet. People are excited, but I don't know how many people have tried it yet. The editor, I maintain, this is one of the quietest, sneakiest little things. It was never a headline feature. We never announced HubSpot now has video editing tools natively. And that's crazy to me. The feature release, even when this came out a year and a half ago, was HubSpot video has new capabilities, right? And it was hey, you can track these analytics, you can embed things here, and oh, by the way, we have a fully functioning text-based video editor that does graphic overlays and real-time captioning, and it's just what? How is this not a separate feature? How does it not have its own product page? But I think it's great, and I think people who use it like it. But I think most folks probably have no idea it's there.
Which is crazy to me. By the way, there's that conversation and the fact that I love to tell people hey, if you're using Descript, there's literally a Descript integration with HubSpot as well.
Yeah, which is pretty great.
Yeah, you can come either direction. But here's the thing that I envision and imagine, especially in a world where Netflix has podcasts. Imagine being in HubSpot and being able to record, being able to edit, and being able to publish, but it also then being able to push over to your podcast platform that lives in the Content Hub, which is another feature that just boggles my mind that there isn't more people talking about. That you could not be in Libsyn, you could not be in some other I don't know, Blue Gamma podcast host.com or whatever the flip you did 20 years ago, and it could be in HubSpot and you could be leveraging it. When all of that merges into a magical system, ladies and gentlemen, game over. Game over.
I didn't mean to set us off necessarily on that, because there's a lot of stuff that is quite easy. There's just so much volume and so much helpful. There are so many ways in which HubSpot is solving for the customer that it's easy for something to be overlooked. But we do want feedback, and we want to help people with problems. Transition button. So speaking of which, we have a comment that I will read now from somebody, Patty Radford. Hey, y'all, tried to leave a voicemail, but got a message that the person isn't available. Chris, you need to be available.
I got to work on my help desk availability settings that are causing me to be busy and not receive voicemail.
So he's human. He is, as far as we know, still at least mostly human. Here are my problems. When importing a list of new contact companies, i.e. a trade show attendee list, I'm ending up with a bunch of cleanup work because the email address of the contact may not match the company domain, so they may not get associated or work. I end up with a bunch of junk company records that I have to manually clean up. And number two, I have to create and associate companies with contact setting turned on. This also seems to make my life harder. Is it more common to have this turned off and just use a workflow, or to associate new contacts to existing companies?
Turn it off. Please turn that setting off.
That setting.
I mean, if there's any level of complexity at all with the way that the companies you serve, talk about themselves, whether it's divisions or departments or locations or whatever, or you have a B2C, or often buyers are filling in Gmail, addresses, then the auto company creation and association causes more friction than it needs to. That said, to make this process not feel so hard, you have to get very clear on how things come into the system, when they're associated. How do we know what what data we're using to make that association. So modeling and mapping the data flow is super important to make this easier.
Chris, if you don't, when you turn that off, do you use workflows, or are you manually associating?
I emphasize the manual part first, just so you know how it needs to work. I think people often jump to the automation and they want that part to work, but then you run into, I think at the heart of this is we can't rely on the domain of a company to support our data structure in HubSpot. But again, if there's any level of complexity, if it's always a one-to-one, this domain is always going to equal this company. And there's never any like mergers and acquisitions that cause, oh, the company name's this, but the domain name is this, right? Like that's what I see most people trying to solve for.
But I would say we can't forget to leverage the domain name when it makes sense. So for instance, if I'm at an event and I have people who like they use Gmail, but because I was like, I don't know, had a conversation and could make a note that they work for XYZ company, I can have a row in a CSV that I'm importing that is company domain. And now those contacts will auto associate with that domain. We also have to remember that company domain is how HubSpot dedupes the actual thing, the companies as well. So like there are some places where this is very important and where we could leverage it. And so like what's funny, Chris, is you said, turn it off. And for years, I've been the guy that says, oh man, if you use business domains or like it's a B2B motion, turn that sucker on, because now you like saved a metric butt ton of time versus manually associating. So I think there's an interesting understanding of what do I need when I'm doing an import? What kind of business do I actually have? And what's the mass number versus outliers of emails that are coming into the database? And then I can make the decision of off or on with the conversation that we're having today.
Is the difference of opinions there just needing more context or more of a specific use case? Or is this something that, Chris, you would say 100% is manual every time without mapping out, and George, you would say 100% leave it on? It should be like, why is there a difference, or why is there two different viewpoints here?
Chris, do you want to go first?
Yes, I do.
Good.
This comes from the world of one contact, one deal, one company. Like was the best practice for using HubSpot. And we just don't live in that world anymore. Like, and this was one of the first Let's Build shows I did. Like, I don't think it's news to most that parent-child company management in HubSpot is not a great muscle in the ecosystem, and a lot of people need help with it. Meanwhile, addresses and the management of those things are central to the business, and they still haven't solved for it, right? And the example I gave is if like HubSpot.com comes in and the team member that we want to work with, or the product manager, whoever, is in Ireland, versus San Francisco, right? HubSpot.com as a one company record is not going to help solve for that, right? And meanwhile, you can create parent-child relationships to say HubSpot dash, headquarters, or just HubSpot without the dash. And then underneath that, HubSpot San Francisco, HubSpot Ireland. And there's so many use cases that come up, especially with events that are often regional, and you need to know which regions they're coming from, and you've got to find a way to bring those addresses into the system, and you only have one company record to do it. So what people do, George, is, well, we can use domain to dedupe.
Wow, he got personalized. He said, hey, buddy, what I'm telling you right now is...
Well, we can use domain to dedupe. We often turn that off because we need this new information coming into the system, and you just see 8 different company records that have the same name and random things being associated with it, right? Instead of training people. And this is where the manual part comes in, but it can turn into automatic in that if we decide that people go through the process, even after one event, and it's like, okay, HubSpot - San Francisco, HubSpot - Ireland, that makes sense, right? Now we can use location fields to then auto name things after they come into the system based on things like addresses, right?
By the way, I'm not going to disagree with anything that Chris said. I'm not choosing violence today. I'm being the nice guy in orange, because my point in the conversation I want to have here is, and the underlying tone of him, Chris saying, turn it off, and me saying, turn it on, is that the answer is, it depends. Like anything else in HubSpot, there's like 2 to 7 different ways to achieve what you're trying to achieve. And that's why a mindset that everybody should be carrying is, how do I wrap this around my business? What works that I can make automagical or not? Like, and that's the part I think a lot of people sometimes pass, is they like run to settings and they skip right past strategy. And like part of the strategy, and why I brought up, like, well, if you work really hard, or you use a forum at the trade show, or you do XYZ, is there a way to get the data? Because you don't have to worry about parent child. You don't worry about location because you are in a type of business that Chris isn't describing. Well, then you've wrapped the process and the platform and the, dare I say it, humans, all in something that is super dope, and we're good to go. So it depends there. That's what I'll say, Chris.
Can we talk about Robin's comment here?
Yeah, and if you want to share my screen too, because I think
I'll read this. Am I missing something? Not that it sounded like that. Couldn't you at the trade show be collecting the company name along with the contact's email? Then you import the company name at the time of import. You'd only need to manually make sure the company name is 100% what is in HubSpot.
Yeah, so I downloaded a sample spreadsheet of what a contact plus company import might look like. But yeah, this is where my head immediately went. Like, I wasn't really even thinking about the setting and the pros and cons of having it on and off, which I think Chris and George are both correct. I also think it depends. But what I think like the easiest path for your immediate problem is just including the company domain in the import, and then that will associate the contacts in the import. The like correct company domain.
Yep. Which, by the way, there's a difference between company name and company domain name. And the key is company domain name, because I've seen people historically fall prey to that. Well, I put the company name in, George, and I'm like, "Ay,
or they're using the company name contact property."
Oh God, yeah! Don't even get me started on that. Oh my gosh, yes.
I mean, that was brought up by a product manager last year on LinkedIn at some point. Like, the contact property that is company name is completely detached unless you build automation for it.
Yep.
And also, like, it just creates complexity. And the question was, do we even need that? Like, if we're doing associations correctly, like, do you even need that property? Right? I don't know where that went internally.
Internal conversations around axing that property have been at HubSpot as long as I have, because it's a relic. Back in the days when HubSpot was just a marketing platform and we didn't have a company's database, that was the only place to store someone's company name, right? And then we built the platform we know and love today, but to remove a standard property that's a tricky business, right? Because some people are using it, whether they should be or not, and so yeah, I suspect that will continue to be an internal debate for a long time.
Like, and I imagine if I put on my I don't work at HubSpot, but if I worked at HubSpot hat on, I imagine that the instant that they created the lead object, that lead status on a contact record also became a very interesting conversation internally.
Sure,
because,
absolutely.
Like, oh
And
Lord, the amount of people that I've talked through that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to get stuck. It seems like this is a situation that we helped with. I think it's important to remember three things, by the way, if you are stuck, and explain them. One is what you're trying to do. Two is what you've already tried. And three is what you expected to happen. And that alone will save you some time.
Yeah. And I'm glad you mentioned that, Kyle, because all I'm trying to do in these moments, especially when it comes to data modeling and structuring, like as HubSpot has grown in complexity, it is so important to get the data architecture correct.
Yeah.
So when you do, it makes everything else, buy-in, adoption, building more, maintaining the system, everything else gets easier. And well, it would be nice if we could use the comfort of our contact deduplication based on emails. It would be nice if that translated over to companies. It does not, right? So that's where luckily we have access to association labels and this system of record that can solve for this complexity. We just need to ask it to. And I think what George and I are both saying are just have intention, decide what your process needs to be, and HubSpot can support whatever that process needs to be for your business.
Yes. Yes.
So I feel like we've bumped up against some feedback for HubSpot. Is that right?
There we go. Feedback frenzy.
We are, I was going to do that earlier and then I saw the comment about the comment. So yes, next week I'll be at an offsite. So I might have to be replaced by Chris. But I will be back the week after that. We will be introducing a feedback frenzy. Kyle is very good, as proven by the last, I think, 2 posts, which have both generated over 180 comments, 200 comments a piece.
Millions.
Billions of
1
billion
billion comments.
Yeah. So feedback, I would say, Super would say, RP would say, the operating principles that I've worked with personally is a gift if the intent is to help improve or make better. I love that. And so apparently the HubSpot product team also does in their passionate pursuit of solving ever more for the customer. That said, the poem is over. We want to get feedback. I tried to do this with the video capture and editing tool earlier. We kind of took an awesome detour, but any feedback, the intent here is to go leave comments. Kyle will do his darndest, as he's proven, to get them to the product team and to whoever can action them in a way to, I've forgotten this 3 or 4 times now, but Dharmesh's thing about the 1,000 smiles, 1,000 tiny delights.
Yeah,
which is amazing in and of itself. But Kyle, if you wanted to expand on that a little bit further about the types of feedback.
HubSpot product team has always sincerely desired your feedback. They've not always been super organized so that when someone gives me feedback on LinkedIn, I know what to do with it. That problem has largely been solved internally. So anytime you see me here or anywhere, happy to be the HubSpot feedback guy. Let me know what's bugging you, what you wish HubSpot would do, what it's not doing quite right. And happy to channel those to the right teams.
Which, by the way, if one of those things that isn't bringing delight is the fact that you have a portal with brands, aka business units, and you've always wished you could have a different logo on invoices and payment links and quotes, guess what came into beta today? That, and you should go check it out. I'm just saying, because I was like, hallelujah. That's another email that's sent out to multiple clients, just letting everybody know.
It's awesome.
Yes, but Kyle is, I think that's one of the things that you've said, if my memory serves, it probably doesn't, that you were able to use Gemini for on posts where you've labeled that as a need. Hey, give feedback, and you're able to use AI to kind of go ahead and rank or poll or kind of group the comments as to like what appeared most frequently. Is that?
Yeah.
Did you say that last week? Okay.
I did. Yeah. So for those posts, one has gotten like 150 or something comments. The other one, I think, broke 400. So that we had to find some way to aggregate them. But in the context of like this show, by all means, just drop it in the chat. I'll screenshot it. I'll put it in the right Slack channel for you. It'll find a home.
That's been happening at the Hug for a
George,
while.
sorry.
Right?
I know we're out of time, but George, you mentioned brands and invoices and stuff. So I just went to the product updates page. Private beta landed today. Add line items to deals via workflows.
Oh,
there's a thing a lot of people have asked for over the years.
Yeah, so much custom code. So much custom code written in workflows to solve that exact use case.
Nice.
There you go. Big day for betas.
Yeah.
So that's a great thing to celebrate. And I know that, Kyle, you just mentioned we were coming up on time. We have two more things we could get into, both of which have been hinted. Chris just mentioned AI for looking at something that was positive. For me, Kyle, just that I think we can do this one pretty quick. One of the other things that we end up talking about a lot and that just comes up with HubSpot's kind of agentic platform move and all of that is talking about the use cases for AI. I just want you to know that I used the Gemini screen reading feature this week to save I can't even fathom how much time I saved with that. Just like, I wonder if this actually will work on what I'm needing it for. And I wish I could hug you right now. I saw it. I was like, I wonder if this works. Saved me probably 3 hours of time.
Amazing.
So there are AI things that we will have, like an AI win of the week. But in order to get all the way back to Casey, I don't know if you still had the win of the week that we did not quite get to, or if you wanted us to go ahead and move to something else.
I can do it. It's a quick one.
Always prepped.
So if you didn't know, if you're using the HubSpot meetings tool, I love the HubSpot meetings tool. By default, it is set up to use the first name and the last name of whoever the meeting is booked with and your name. I had a client reach out to me this week. Their sales team was getting confused about who these people were. It's a B2B organization, and they were like, how can we add more context? Easy. Click this personalize button. And you can say, Casey is meeting with, and now I can add a couple of tokens. There's not everything here, but I can definitely add what my client needed, which was the company name specifically. And that was all I needed to do to make their sales team have a lot more context in their calendars this week.
Nice, easy, simple. Love it.
Thank you for that. We can and should and probably should just have you lead more of the show with your screen being shared to deliver more of your awesomeness, unless we have people that call in, and then you can walk them through whatever they need. I know we're coming up on time. I really quick wanted to introduce a final thing. George, I quoted you on a post that you had yesterday, and you didn't even notice it. So something else I might try to sneak in just for my own pleasure and for viewers is quoting George B. Thomas without him knowing to score points. When you're stuck, the fastest way to get help is to explain these three things clearly. You literally posted yesterday. So just wanted to attribute that wisdom to you, sir. Thank you for that. It made me look smart, and you didn't even call me out on it.
I mean, listen, it sounded familiar, but I was just going to let it roll, my friend. I was going to let it roll.
Maybe I shouldn't have called myself out, but I am made better by the people I surround myself with. Can't think of anybody that has helped more with that than you four. That being said, please continue to leave voicemails. Chris's only priority until it is fixed is to fix the voicemail so that people can call in and actually leave one, or perhaps talk to a clone of either Chris, George, Kyle, or Casey.
And thanks, Patty, for trying.
Yes, thank you for trying.
That is about to get solved on the Value First office hours that we're about to go do. Casey will be there supervising to make sure I fix it. So we'll get that fixed.
Ultra prepared, ultra responsive. We are humans after all. Not sure about Chris or George, but most of us are, at least in a high majority, still human. Thanks for tuning into the HubSpot Helpline. We will see you next week.
I'm a human. Hello. You've reached the HubSpot Helpline.
It's Rob, it's George, it's Casey, Kyle, and Chris. Admin, call in, then tune in. You can't miss this. Every Wednesday at 10. we're so proud to be. Helping you with HubSpot. Orange, you so glad that